The massive screen within Earth's Global Defense Command Center pulsed with an urgent red alert. Admiral James Thompson stood motionless, his weathered hands clasped behind his back as he studied the readings. What started as a tiny anomaly at the edge of their long-range sensors had quickly become the largest fleet of ships ever detected. "Sir, the objects have cleared the Kuiper Belt," reported Lieutenant Mark Wilson, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "Count is still increasing. We're now at over 10,000 vessels." The Admiral's expression remained calm, though his blue eyes narrowed slightly. Humanity had prepared for this moment for over a century. While the rest of the world went about their daily lives in seemingly normal cities and towns, the true heart of human civilization hummed quietly beneath the surface and hidden in orbital stations. "Time until they reach scanner range of our surface installations?" Thompson asked. 4 hours, sir. They're moving faster than anything we've tracked before." The Admiral nodded and pressed a small button on his uniform collar. "This is Thompson. Initiate Protocol 7. Inform all subsurface cities and orbital habitats to activate stealth measures. Let's make sure our visitors only see what we want them to see." Across Earth, hidden doors sealed shut. Quantum shields shimmed into place, masking the true extent of human technology. On the surface, life continued as normal. Cars drove down streets, planes flew their routes, and satellites maintained their predictable orbits. It was a carefully crafted illusion, one that had fooled many alien scout ships over the decades. In the void of space, aboard the Imperial command ship Dominion, Commander Marcus watched the blue-green planet grow larger on his view screen. His mandibles clicked in anticipation as he reviewed the preliminary scans. "Primitive transportation vehicles powered by chemical combustion," he muttered. "Basic satellite network. No energy shields. No quantum signatures." He turned to his science officer. "Colonization rating. Class 3 civilization, Commander. They've achieved basic spaceflight, but haven't expanded beyond their moon. Easy conquest, as expected." Marcus felt a surge of pride. This would be his 100th world added to the Empire. A primitive planet like this would hardly require any military effort at all. Just a show of force, and they would submit like all the others. Back on Earth, Admiral Thompson entered the quantum communication chamber. Around him, representatives from every major military power stood in a circle, their faces illuminated by the soft blue light of the quantum core. "Ladies and gentlemen," Thompson began, "the moment we've prepared for has arrived. The Galactic Empire has finally found us." He gestured to a holographic display showing the approaching fleet. "They've fallen for our surface deception completely. Their scans show exactly what we want them to see. A young, developing civilization barely out of its cradle." General Anna Roberts stepped forward, her decorated uniform catching the light. "All subsurface military installations are ready, Admiral. The lunar defense grid is powered but dormant. Should we begin evacuating surface populations?" Thompson shook his head. "Not yet. We need to maintain the illusion as long as possible. The Empire needs to commit to their attack plan before we show our hand." He turned to face the others. "For 300 years, we've hidden our true progress. We let them think we were destroying our planet with pollution, while we actually moved most of our civilization underground and mastered quantum engineering. We watched their ships pass by, learning their technology, their tactics, their weaknesses." The room fell silent as real-time images of the Imperial fleet appeared above them. The ships were impressive, massive constructs of metal and energy, but to the trained eye, their weaknesses were obvious. Their quantum shielding was generations behind Earth's capabilities. Their weapons, while powerful, relied on principles humanity had long since surpassed. "Begin recording our warning message," Thompson ordered. "One simple phrase, broadcast when they enter Mars orbit. Look up. Let them think it's a primitive attempt at defiance. When they pass the moon." He allowed himself a small smile. "Well, then they'll understand." As the Imperial fleet pressed forward, humanity waited patiently. Like a hunter in a blind, they would let their prey come close enough to spring the trap. This would be the day when the galaxy learned that appearances could be deceiving, and that underestimating Earth would be the Empire's greatest mistake. The Imperial fleet moved through the Mars orbit like a swarm of metal locusts. Commander Marcus stood on his bridge, watching the red planet shrink behind them. His victory speech was already prepared, and he imagined how the Imperial news would cover his conquest of this backwater world. "Commander," his sensor officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the planet." Marcus waved a hand dismissively. "Put it on screen. Let's see what these primitives have to say." 2 words appeared on the massive display. "Look up, he." Laughter erupted across the bridge. Marcus himself clicked his mandibles in amusement. How quaint. They think they can intimidate us with simple messages. Prepare the standard conquest broadcast. Let's show them what real power looks like. Deep beneath the Nevada desert, Admiral Thompson watched the Imperial fleet's reaction. The massive underground command center hummed with activity as operators tracked every Imperial ship's movement. Holographic displays showed the enemy fleet's formation, their weapon systems, and their shield configurations. "They took the bait, sir," Lieutenant Wilson reported. "Their ships haven't changed course or raised shields. They think we're harmless." Thompson nodded slowly. "Activate the lunar grid. Let's give them something to think about." On the dark side of the moon, thousands of hidden panels slid open. Defense platforms that had remained dormant for decades powered up, their quantum cores pulsing with energy. The installations had been built generations ago, when humanity first detected Imperial scout ships passing through the solar system. Aboard the Dominion, alarms suddenly blared. The sensor officer's eyes widened in shock. "Commander, multiple energy signatures detected on the moon's surface. They're stronger than anything in our database." Marcus rushed to the sensor display, his confidence cracking for the first time. Impossible. The scans showed no lunar installations. Their moon base was abandoned decades ago. "Sir," his tactical officer interrupted, "we're detecting quantum signatures, advanced ones, far more sophisticated than our own." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Launch a probe. I want visual confirmation." The Empire's fastest probe shot toward the moon. Its cameras captured images that sent shockwaves through the Imperial fleet. Where there had been only craters and dust, now stood rows of gleaming defense platforms. Their design was alien to Imperial eyes, sleek, angular structures that seemed to bend light around them. Back on Earth, Thompson received an urgent message from the UN Security Council. The world's surface leaders, those who maintained the illusion of a divided planet, wanted to know if it was time to reveal everything. "Not yet," Thompson replied. "Let them process the lunar defenses first. We'll show them our orbital platforms next." He turned to General Roberts, who had just entered the command center. "Status of the subsurface evacuation." "Complete," she answered. "All surface civilians have been moved to the underground cities. The ones they can see above are just holograms now. We can drop the pretense whenever you give the word." In orbit around Earth, carefully hidden satellites began powering up. These weren't the primitive communication devices the Empire had detected. These were quantum weapon platforms, capable of disabling entire fleets without destroying them. Humanity had long ago moved past the need for destructive weapons. Commander Marcus paced his bridge, his earlier bravado replaced by growing dread. "Contact Imperial Command. Tell them." He paused as new alarms sounded. "Sir," his sensor officer shouted, "the Earth's satellites. They're transforming. Energy readings are off the charts." Marcus watched in horror as Earth's seemingly primitive satellite network revealed its true nature. What had appeared to be simple metal boxes unfolded into massive defense platforms, their quantum cores glowing with power that made the Empire's best technology look like children's toys. "All ships, battle formations," Marcus ordered, trying to maintain control of the situation. "Prepare for." His words were cut short as every screen on his bridge displayed the same message. This is your own idol. In the underground command center, Admiral Thompson watched the Imperial fleet's chaotic reaction with satisfaction. "Send the second message," he ordered. Across every Imperial ship, words appeared in their own language. "The surface is an illusion. Look deeper." It was time to show the Empire exactly what they had stumbled into. Humanity's greatest deception was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Imperial fleet hung motionless in Earth's orbit, their sensors overwhelmed by the sudden appearance of technology they couldn't understand. Commander Marcus had stopped giving orders, his confidence shattered by each new revelation. "Sir," his second-in-command whispered, "Imperial Command is demanding an update." Before Marcus could respond, the space around his fleet began to change. The varied fabric of reality seemed to ripple as massive structures phased into existence. Hidden cities floating in orbit, their quantum shields dropping to reveal architecture that defied Imperial engineering. "By the eternal stars," Marcus breathed. "How long have these been here?" On Earth, Admiral Thompson stood in the center of the global command center. Around him, massive screens showed the Imperial fleet's every movement. "Time to show them what they're really dealing with," he said. "Initiate surface revelation protocol." Across Earth's surface, the illusion began to fade. The holographic cities that had fooled Imperial sensors flickered and vanished. In their place, massive doors opened in the ground, revealing the true face of human civilization. Gleaming structures of impossible materials rose from underground, their quantum cores pulsing with power. The Empire's sensors recorded it all. Where their scans had shown primitive cities with simple combustion vehicles, now stood technological marvels. Transport tubes connected vast underground metropolises. Flying vehicles that didn't use any known form of propulsion moved through the air. Energy readings that broke every Imperial scientific model poured from the planet. "Commander," the sensor officer's voice cracked. They're everywhere. The humans have built an entire civilization underground. Our surface scans didn't detect anything because they wanted us to see a primitive world," Marcus finished, his mandibles clicking nervously. This was all a trap. In the command center, Lieutenant Wilson turned to Admiral Thompson. "Sir, the Empire's ships are powering up their weapons. They're falling back on standard protocol. When in doubt, attack." Thompson smiled slightly. "Let them try. Activate the quantum interference field." Across the Imperial fleet, alarm klaxons blared as ships lost power to their weapons. Their mighty engines, capable of crossing galaxies, sputtered and died. Emergency power kept life support running, but nothing else responded to commands. Marcus watched helplessly as his mighty fleet drifted in space, reduced to metal shells by technology he couldn't comprehend. On his main screen, a transmission appeared. The face of Admiral Thompson looked back at him, calm and professional. "Commander Marcus," Thompson said, "I believe it's time we had a proper introduction. You're probably wondering how long we've known about the Empire." Marcus could only nod. "We detected your first scout ships 3 centuries ago," Thompson continued. "We watched them scan our planet, saw how you categorized primitive worlds for conquest. So we made a choice to hide our true progress, to let you see what you expected to see." In orbit, more human ships appeared, their designs unlike anything the Empire had encountered. They moved without visible engines, their hulls seeming to bend light itself. "While your Empire expanded through brute force," Thompson explained, "we chose a different path. We moved underground, developed quantum engineering, and watched. We learned your languages, your tactics, your technology. And we prepared." Marcus found his voice at last. "Why reveal yourselves now? Why not stay hidden?" "Because your Empire needs to understand something." Thompson's expression hardened slightly. "Earth is not alone. We found other worlds like ours. young civilizations hiding their true potential. We've been protecting them, guiding them. Today's demonstration isn't just about Earth. It's a message to your empire. The age of conquest is over. As if to emphasize his point, the quantum interference field lifted. The Imperial ships regained power, their weapons and engines coming back online. "You have a choice, Commander," Thompson said. "Return to your empire. Tell them what you've seen. Or," he paused, "you can stay. Learn. Help us build something better than an empire built on conquest." Marcus looked at his crew, at his mighty fleet reduced to helpless observers, and made his decision. The galaxy was about to change, and he wanted to be on the right side of history. "Admiral Thompson," he said, "I believe we have much to discuss." Commander Marcus stood in Earth's underground command center, his mandibles twitching with a mix of awe and fear. The facility stretched for miles in every direction, filled with technology that made his empire's best achievements look primitive. Admiral Thompson walked beside him, showing him humanity's true face. "Your fleet," Marcus said, watching screens that tracked his ships with perfect clarity. "You could have destroyed it at any time." Thompson nodded. "We could have, but destruction has never been our goal. Look here." He gestured to a massive holographic display showing the galaxy. Thousands of points of light pulsed across its surface. Each of these marks a civilization we're protecting. Some are barely discovering fire. Others are nearly ready to join us. Before Marcus could respond, alarms blared through the command center. Lieutenant Wilson's voice cut through the noise. "Admiral, Imperial reinforcements just entered the solar system. It's the entire Third Fleet." On the main screen, 5,000 new ships appeared, led by the Imperial flagship Eternal Glory. A transmission cut through all frequencies. "This is Grand Admiral Peter of the Imperial Third Fleet," a voice boomed. "The Empire does not recognize Earth's authority. Surrender immediately or face total destruction." Thompson sighed. "They never learn, do they?" He turned to Marcus. "Watch carefully, Commander. This is why we avoided joining the Galactic community until now." High above Earth, the quantum defense network activated. Not just the visible platforms, but thousands of microscopic satellites that had remained hidden even after the first reveal. They moved like a swarm of invisible stars, each one carrying technology that the Empire couldn't detect, let alone understand. "No warnings this time," Thompson said calmly. "Lieutenant Wilson, initiate Protocol Omega." In space, the Imperial Third Fleet pressed forward, their weapons charged. Grand Admiral Peter stood on his bridge, confident in his overwhelming firepower. That confidence lasted exactly 3 seconds. The first wave of quantum satellites passed through the Imperial ship shields as if they weren't there. Each satellite attached itself to a ship's hull, and then nothing seemed to happen. "Sir," Peter's weapons officer called out, "our weapons are reconfiguring themselves." Across the entire fleet, every weapon system transformed. Metal and energy reshaped themselves at the quantum level. When the process finished, the Empire's most powerful weapons had been turned into simple life support systems. In the command center, Marcus watched in disbelief. How is this possible?" Thompson smiled. "Quantum engineering at its finest. We're not destroying their weapons, we're changing their fundamental structure. Converting weapons of war into tools of survival. We did the same thing to our own weapons centuries ago." On the main screen, Grand Admiral Peter's face appeared, his expression a mask of rage. "What have you done to my fleet?" "Protected you from yourselves," Thompson replied simply. "Your ships can still fly, still explore. They just can't harm anyone anymore. The Empire's age of conquest is over, Admiral Peter. The only question is whether you'll accept this change peacefully." As if to demonstrate their point, Earth's orbital cities fully revealed themselves. Massive structures that dwarfed even the Imperial flagship emerged from quantum shields that had kept them hidden for centuries. Each one was a testament to human ingenuity. cities in space that housed millions, built without a single weapon. Marcus watched as his fellow Imperial officer struggled with this new reality. He had already accepted the truth, but Peter was from the old guard. Would he understand? Your empire, Thompson continued, addressing both Imperial officers, stands at a crossroads. You can join us, help us guide younger civilizations toward peace, or you can resist and watch as we systematically disable every weapon in your arsenal. In the silence that followed, Marcus stepped forward. Grand Admiral, I've seen their world. Their true world. This isn't a battle we can win, because they don't think like we do. They don't want to defeat us. They want to help us grow beyond the need for conquest. Peter's shoulders slumped slightly. Centuries of imperial doctrine crumbled in the face of superior wisdom, rather than superior firepower. Perhaps, Peter said finally, it's time for the Empire to learn some new ways. Thompson nodded approvingly. Humanity's greatest victory wouldn't come from destruction, but from teaching the galaxy a better way forward. The demonstration was complete, and the real work could begin. Word spread quickly through the Imperial fleet about Earth's incredible display of power. On the bridge of the Eternal Glory, Grand Admiral Peter and Commander Marcus stood with Admiral Thompson, watching as teams of human engineers helped restore the Imperial ship's navigation systems while leaving their weapons permanently transformed. Your civilization, Peter said, breaking a long silence. You mentioned you found others like you. Other worlds hiding their true power. Thompson nodded, gesturing to a holographic display that appeared between them. We call them the Silent Worlds. Like Earth, they chose to develop in secret, away from the Empire's attention. Unlike us, they're not yet ready to reveal themselves. The display showed dozens of seemingly primitive worlds. Each one appeared underdeveloped on the surface, much like Earth had appeared to Imperial scouts. But beneath those simple exteriors lay incredible secrets. Sir, Lieutenant Wilson's voice cut through their conversation. Emergency transmission from Imperial Center. They're declaring war on Earth. Instead of concern, Thompson smiled. Right on schedule. They'd done exactly what we predicted. He turned to the Imperial officers. Would you like to see why we spent centuries preparing? Above Earth, the quantum defense network hummed to life. Not just the visible platforms, but an intricate web of technology that stretched across the entire solar system. Each piece was a testament to human ingenuity, capable of stopping any attack without causing harm. The Imperial Center's declaration of war was followed by the largest fleet ever assembled in galactic history. 50,000 ships emerged from hyperspace, their weapons primed for destruction. The Emperor himself led them, aboard his personal dreadnought Imperial Will. Last chance, Admiral Thompson. The Emperor's voice boomed across all frequencies. Surrender Earth and its technology, or face annihilation. In the command center, Thompson simply pressed a button. Initiate Genesis Protocol. Across the solar system, something incredible happened. The space between stars began to shift. The very fabric of reality seemed to bend as humanity revealed its greatest achievement, complete control over quantum space itself. Imperial ships found themselves unable to move, not disabled, not attacked, but held in place by forces they couldn't comprehend. Their most powerful engines couldn't break free from the quantum grip that held them. What you're experiencing, Thompson explained to the Emperor, is a localized manipulation of quantum spacetime. Your ships aren't damaged. They simply cannot move until we allow it. The Emperor's voice trembled with rage and fear. Impossible. No civilization has mastered quantum space control. No civilization that you knew about, Thompson corrected. While your empire focused on expansion and conquest, we explored deeper mysteries. We learned to work with the universe itself. Marcus watched in awe as Earth's orbital cities began to shift, revealing even more hidden layers. What had seemed like near habitats transformed into massive quantum engineering centers. The heart of human civilization wasn't just underground. It existed in layers of reality the Empire had never imagined. Emperor, Thompson continued, his voice firm but not unkind. Earth isn't interested in conquest or destruction. We reveal ourselves now because the galaxy is ready for change. Your empire has spread war and fear for too long. It's time for something new. To demonstrate his point, Thompson activated Earth's quantum network. Across every Imperial ship, weapons systems transformed, not into simple life support as before, but into something far more remarkable. Where tools of destruction had been, now sat quantum cores capable of powering entire civilizations. We're giving you the foundations of a better future, Thompson explained. Your ships can now help worlds grow rather than conquer them. The choice of how to use this gift is yours. The Emperor stood silent, watching as his mighty armada was transformed not by force, but by wisdom. Centuries of imperial doctrine crumbled in the face of technology so advanced it seemed like magic. Finally, he spoke. Perhaps it is time for the Empire to learn new ways. In the command center, Thompson shared a knowing look with Marcus and Peter. This was why humanity had waited, had prepared so carefully. Not for a war, but for a moment of transformation that would change the galaxy forever. The battle that never was had ended, and a new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. In the days following Earth's demonstration of power, the galaxy underwent rapid changes. The Emperor, along with Commander Marcus and Grand Admiral Peter, stood in Earth's largest underground city, a metropolis that stretched for hundreds of miles beneath the surface. The city's quantum core pulsed with clean energy, powering technology that the Empire's best scientists could barely comprehend. All this time, the Emperor said, watching transport pods zip through crystalline tubes, we thought we were the height of civilization. We were like children playing with toys. Admiral Thompson led them through vast halls where humans worked alongside artificial intelligences, creating technology that defied imperial understanding. We didn't hide out of fear, he explained. We hid because the galaxy wasn't ready. Including ourselves, we needed time to grow beyond our own warlike nature. Above them, through transparent quantum shields, they could see other levels of the city stretching upward, each one more remarkable than the last. Citizens went about their daily lives using technology that looked like magic to imperial eyes. Sir, Lieutenant Wilson approached with a datapad. We're receiving transmissions from the silent worlds. They're ready to reveal themselves too. On the massive screens surrounding them, planet after planet began dropping their illusions. Worlds that the Empire had classified as primitive suddenly showed their true faces. Underground cities, orbital habitats, and quantum technologies appeared everywhere. The Emperor watched in stunned silence as his galaxy transformed before his eyes. How many? He whispered. 273 worlds, Thompson replied. Each one choosing to develop in peace, away from the conflicts of the Empire. Each one mastering technologies in their own way. And now, all ready to help guide the galaxy toward a better future. A new transmission appeared on the screens. It came from a world the Empire had dismissed as a simple agricultural colony. Now it revealed itself as a marvel of biological engineering, with living cities that grew from the planet itself. Another world, thought to be a primitive ocean planet, showed cities that controlled the weather itself, living in harmony with their world's powerful storms. You see, Emperor, Thompson continued, true power isn't about weapons or conquest. It's about understanding. Each of these worlds chose a different path. Some focused on biological sciences, others on environmental control, quantum mechanics, or consciousness itself. In orbit, Earth's quantum platforms began broadcasting data to every imperial world. Not weapons or threats, but knowledge. Ways to clean polluted worlds, to end energy shortages, to cure diseases that had plagued imperial citizens for generations. This is our true revelation, Thompson said. Not just our power, but our purpose. Earth and the silent worlds have been preparing for centuries, not for war, but for this moment. The moment when we could help guide the galaxy toward peace. The Emperor watched as reports flooded in from across his empire. Worlds long oppressed by imperial rule were transforming. Clean energy replaced polluting power plants. Quantum cores brought life to dead worlds. Disease and hunger began to vanish as humanity's gift of knowledge spread. Your empire doesn't have to end, Thompson explained, seeing the worry in the Emperor's eyes. It can transform. Instead of ruling through force, you can lead through wisdom. Help us guide younger civilizations. Protect them as they grow. Marcus stepped forward, his military bearing softened by understanding. My Emperor, I've seen their way of life. They don't want to destroy what we built. They want to help us build something better. The Emperor looked around the vast underground city once more. He saw humans going about their lives in peace, using power that could have conquered the galaxy to instead better themselves and others. Perhaps, he said finally, it's time for the Empire to learn from Earth's example, not to hide our progress, but to ensure it serves the right purpose. Thompson smiled. That's why we revealed ourselves now, because you're ready to understand. The galaxy doesn't need an empire of conquest anymore. It needs teachers, guides, protectors. Above them, through the quantum shields, they could see Earth's surface beginning its own transformation. The fake cities disappeared, revealing the true face of human civilization. It was time for the mask to come off, not just for Earth, but for all the silent worlds. The age of secrets was ending. The age of wisdom was about to begin. 1 year after Earth's revelation, the galaxy had changed beyond recognition. Admiral Thompson stood in the newly constructed Galactic Council chamber, built in Earth's orbit. The massive structure served as a meeting point between all known civilizations, from the most advanced to the newly emerging. The Emperor, now known as the first speaker, took his place beside Thompson. His military uniform had been replaced by simpler robes, symbolizing the Empire's transformation from a conquering force to a guardian of peace. The last of the silent worlds revealed themselves yesterday, Thompson said, watching the holographic displays showing hundreds of unique civilizations, each one bringing their own gifts to share. Commander Marcus, now Earth's chief liaison to former Imperial worlds, approached them with a data report. The quantum technology distribution is proceeding faster than expected. Over 10,000 worlds have been lifted from poverty and environmental disaster. The chamber's main display activated, showing a small fleet approaching Earth. Unlike the warships of the old empire, these vessels were exploration craft designed to seek out and protect developing civilizations. Grand Admiral Peter's first mission as head of the Guardian Fleet, Thompson noted with satisfaction. The former Imperial officer had found his true calling, protecting younger civilizations as they grew. Admiral, Lieutenant Wilson called out, "We're receiving the first transmissions from the Andromeda Galaxy. The probes we sent last month have found something remarkable." The display shifted, showing another galaxy filled with its own hidden wonders. Just like the silent worlds of the Milky Way, civilizations in Andromeda had chosen similar paths, developing in secret, waiting for the right moment to emerge. "It seems we weren't the only ones," the first speaker said, his mandibles clicking in amusement. "The universe is fuller of wonders than we ever imagined." In the chamber below them, representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered. Some appeared as holograms, others in environmental suits, and many in their natural forms. Each brought unique perspectives and technologies to share. "The young races are adapting well," Marcus observed, watching a delegation from a newly contacted world marveling at their first quantum core. "They're learning faster than we did." Thompson nodded, "Because they have guides now. We all developed in isolation, hiding from the Empire. These new civilizations can grow openly, learning from everyone's experiences." The chamber's quantum shields rippled as a new ship arrived. It carried delegates from a civilization that had contacted Earth just days ago, a species that had hidden their true nature for even longer than humanity. "Did you ever imagine this?" the first speaker asked Thompson. "When you first detected our scout ships centuries ago, did you dream of such a future?" Thompson smiled, remembering those early days when humanity first realized they weren't alone. We hoped. That's why we hid, why we prepared. Not just to protect ourselves, but to be ready for this moment, when we could help guide the galaxy towards something better. Below them, the chamber erupted in excitement as the new delegates shared their discovery. A way to communicate across quantum dimensions, opening up possibilities that even Earth's scientists hadn't imagined. The age of secrets is truly over, Marcus said. Now we all grow together. The first speaker nodded in agreement. The Empire sought to rule the galaxy. Instead, we learned to serve it. To protect rather than conquer. To guide rather than command. A small alert caught Thompson's attention. Another civilization had just achieved spaceflight, their first tentative steps into the cosmos. In the old days, they would have faced imperial conquest. Now, they would find guardians and teachers, ready to help them grow. "Shall we send the welcome message?" Wilson asked. Thompson looked at his companions, the former emperor who had learned wisdom, the commander who had chosen understanding over conquest, and the countless representatives of civilizations that had hidden their light for so long. "Send it," he said. "Let them know they're not alone. Let them know they have nothing to fear from the stars." As the message went out, Earth's quantum networks pulsed with power and purpose. The Great Deception had ended, replaced by something far more valuable: truth, wisdom, and the promise of a future where no civilization would need to hide its light again. The galaxy had awakened to a new dawn, and its best days were still to come.